Create with Fran Sidney. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Today we have episode 69 and we are going to go deeper and deeper into the topic of how to create your new life. The life that you always wanted to have but has not materialized. It doesn't matter what your problem is, whether it's weight loss or maybe losing a little bit of that anxiety. Maybe just feeling generally happier because that's what all human beings want. We want to be happy. So, is that possible? Is it possible to be happy today? And I'm going to tell you a couple of things you can do to start being happy today. So, tune in. Do you know how certain days start? You wake up not quite in a good mood for some really weird reason. Then maybe something drops on the floor, you break it or you damage it or you can't find something, you're late for work. But maybe your husband or wife says something, or maybe one of your children is not very nice to you, and you just get one thing after the other one, and you get a really terrible day. And then you might start thinking, oh, my life is terrible. And you might reach for the medication cabinet or for the food, the alcohol, the cigarette. You might start moaning, life is terrible, why this is happening to me? This can be something that happens every day. It can lead to a lot of problems. Is it possible to change direction? Yes, it is. So I want to talk to you about your mind power. Maybe you have not listened to all my other episodes, so that's just a little bit of a reminder of how powerful our thoughts are in creating our day. It could be that maybe a lot of people around you are like that. They call you just to complain about everything, they moan about everyone, their work, their husband or wife, their children, what's going on in the world. Or maybe you have people that are maybe okay with their own little life there, the small part of it, but they complain about the big side world all the time, just complain and moan, and it feels dreadful. And maybe these are things that are actually going on that they don't like, and that's fine because we are supposed to be able to debate and talk about what's going on. But maybe some people might have a tone of like, oh, this is, and it just really makes you feel super depressed. And it is absolutely true that nowadays there are so many terrible things happening. However, in our little sphere, is there a way to find happiness? Yes. Neuroscience tells us that we can make a huge difference, especially if we are supposed to be happy, right? But we're not. And therefore we've been maybe on anxiety, on depression medication for many years. We got hooked to that and we can't stop. And yet we ask ourselves, why can I not trust myself? Why can I not stop this? Why do I rely on this pill? If it's a time for you, you have decided, right, I want to see how can I make my day better. And if you're ready for that, you can work with your doctor to get off your medication. Or even if you're not on medication and you're thinking, well, I'm not really happy how my life is going. I want to feel happier about it. Then that's why today I thought we would focus a little bit on the various aspects of what happens when we talk to ourselves in a certain way. Just as a reminder, I always say in every single episode, we get what we focus on, always. And I even posted yesterday a short video from Mel Robbins when she was talking about manifesting what she wanted. She wanted to buy a very nice painting that she saw, and after many years she was able to buy it, not because she'd become a millionaire to afford it, but because her mind was so focused on getting it, and eventually she found a way of arriving and meeting a painter, and who actually gave her the painting for a very, very small price compared to the very expensive $1,000 normal price, because there was something there, they have united the painter and the person that wanted this specific paint, that it was painted for her, and she had attracted it by thinking about it, by planning about it, by telling everyone she wanted that particular paint. Interestingly, Mel Robbins was not focusing on how difficult it was going to be or why she was so unhappy that she would never earn enough money to get the painting. And that really made me think, right, I have to talk about this today. You might already know that when we create a negative thought or idea or image in our mind, there isn't just an image. This is something, it's an electrical impulse that is happening that you can see with an ECG. You can actually see what's going on in the mind by attaching all these little things on your head, and you can see the effect by watching a movie, and all these neuroscientists look at you thinking, wow, I can tell you're relaxed, you're happy, you're scared. Isn't that amazing? Just thinking about what's going to happen. So I want you to relax and think for a minute. How did you start the day today? Was it a good day or was it not a very good one? Keep going like that. So let's assume that the day didn't start very well. So let's assume that you are in the United Kingdom. It's going towards the middle of autumn or fall for the Americans. And you look outside. Today is a rainy day. There's this very fine mist. It's dull. We haven't seen the sunshine today. You wake up. It's a little bit chilly. You have to turn the heating on because the room is only 16 degrees. So you go and turn the heating on. It doesn't start up. So you have to go there in your boiler room or whatever to sort out the problem, and you can't. So you go in and perhaps check in your, manual, and nothing is helping you. So you have to call a heating engineer to help you. And guess what? He's busy for the next 2 weeks. So you start thinking, this is not very good. I have to go to work or do the school run, and things are not working properly. Then you go and have your breakfast, and something happens there, and you think, well, there we go. Everything is gonna go wrong today. From this moment on, you see that 2 things are going wrong. Okay, so that's a perfect day to do an experiment, right? Please, 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 today, look around you and concentrate on all the woes that are there for you. Look for all the bad things that have happened today and all the bad things that might possibly happen today. Make sure you complain. Complain to your people that live in the house with you, complain at work, complain when you do the school run, wherever you are, at work with your boss, complain. Do not find any solution. Just think about problems and even email people and tell them what's wrong with them. And you will soon find that this is a horrible day for you and terrible things are happening and the world is a terrible thing. Make sure that you outline every single article in the news that talk about the wars that are coming, or more food shortages. We're all gonna die of COVID-19, or we're gonna be infected, we're gonna be in lockdown for the next 50 years. Just read all this stuff and make sure that you tell people off if they make a mistake in the shop when dealing with you, and if your children have made a mistake in their homework or they didn't get a good grade, make sure you tell them off and tell them that they are not very good, you're not proud of them. Just keep going with everything is wrong. You are so unlucky, the rain is destroying your day, it's too cold, everything is going wrong. Just keep going like that. Make it your horrible day, okay? And then take notice of what's going on in your mind and what's going on around you when people see what you're doing. Really take notice. The first thing you might notice is that you're not feeling great and you feel like a doom and gloom, like a little cloud hovering over your head. You might also notice that people around you are starting to be quiet or maybe aggressive or defensive, or maybe people at work are quietly tiptoeing around you and they're actually avoiding you completely. You might also notice that your general energy level either is far too high, so you're becoming angry and you tend to shout more, to yell more, or you're closing in, you're feeling more depressed and more helpless, or you see only problems, and therefore if you're focusing on that, maybe you're even prone to make a list of everything that's going wrong with you, with your marriage, your work, your career, your friends. Make this list and realize how bad it feels to focus on this for the whole time. Maybe you want to complain about the disease you have, how bad it is. Maybe you're in a wheelchair, life is very difficult. Complain, and you will see this cloud around you becomes worse and worse. And the people that are around you go backwards because they don't want to be near you, because they can feel, even if I cannot tell, they feel depressed by being around you because you are dragging everyone else down. Just as a specific thing, I want to warn you, this is not to say that we should never complain if something bad is done to us, about abuse and things like that. And that doesn't mean that we have to suffer in silence for the rest of our life. So make sure you understand, I'm not saying we do not have problems, I'm just talking about the attitude. You will also find out that if you are to choose a day like this, when everything is to look bad, you want to focus on the bad, you will be filtering out everything good, and you will be criticizing even the good stuff because you're taking off, you're avoiding, you're ignoring everything that is good, that is going on for you. Okay, that's a very interesting thing. We have a reticular activating system, the RAS, which I mentioned so many times, and this is such an empowering thing that we have. It's like a GPS, it's always looking for clues around the world to prove that we are correct and to help us. So what we focus on, we will get. And in fact, I have a quote. Let me just get it. It's a quote from Jeffrey R. Holland, given in April 2007. And he said, "No misfortune is so bad that whining about it won't make it worse." You know, so true. On the other hand, if today started okay, make the experiment with me and focus only on every possible thing that can go great today, that you're grateful for. Everything that is wonderful about you, about the weather, about the animals and pets you have in your house, about your neighbors, about something you heard in the news, a warming story, a cute kitten, whatever it is, maybe service you received, a smile that you have noticed. Just make sure that you tell yourself all the time, this is going to be a great day. So you concentrate on all the possible good things that are happening and that are going to happen today. So when you arrive at the traffic light, if it's turning red just as you arrive there, think, wow, that's amazing. When it becomes green again, I'm going to be the first person going. Yeah, that's great. And smile to people, give compliments to people, maybe offer service and help somebody, give something positive to others. Every time you look at them, tell them something good that makes them feel happy. And find out just how many people you can make smile because you are happy. And, if you do this well, who knows what you might get as a result. And keep going like that. Appreciate the food that you have and tell yourself, wow, I have all my teeth, or I have an amazing denture. I can eat all this. Touch your body. If you have all your legs, all your arms, everything is there, be grateful. And if you don't and you're in a wheelchair, think, wow, I'm amazed because I got a wheelchair, and some people in poor countries don't even have that. They have to be carried by the people. I'm glad that I have a family that loves me. And they try their best to cope with me on all the problems that I might have, and they take me to hospital, to appointment and everything, or I can even drive. To think about all the good things that happen, even if you are not in a best situation. In fact, you do not have to be rich, healthy or perfect. You just have to have an eye for everything good that is happening in your day. And continue your day by thinking, I'm grateful to the universe or to God, whatever you believe, to Allah. Believe in the stones, right? Be thankful to the stones. Whatever you want, just be thankful for everything you have, your health, your wealth, or the fact that you have nothing, so you have nothing to worry about. Think about all the wonderful things that can be possibly happening today. Make a list of the compliments you want to make to people. Send a nice message to others. And then see how your day is going. What do you think is going to happen? You might notice that the more you look for wonderful, good things, the more you will find them. You will find more articles in the news talking about wonderful things. You might find that you actually want to start something, a good project, a charity project with somebody else to help people who are not as well settled as you are. Whatever that is, you will notice that your day will be better. But guess what? The only thing that has changed is not something from outside. It's something that started from inside. And then because you are thinking in a different way, everything is going to look better, like under the golden light. And you are filtering out all the bad stuff because you're thinking of what you can do about things. Instead of just complaining, because we do know that there are loads of bad things going on in the world, especially now. We know that. But what can we do about it? What can I do in my little sphere to improve the world? For example, now there is a lot of talk about climate change. Okay, there's climate change, there are disasters, there is pollution. That's fine. We all know. But instead of just protesting, can we actually do something? Can we look back and say, okay, I'm in my kitchen. What can I do to help with this? I'm in my car. What can I do? Can I just step out of a car? Can I use the bike instead? What can I do to make pollution less? Can I set up a group with people? Can I join people who are doing this? What can I do? Instead of just thinking, oh, we're doomed, we are going to die. Well, that's not going to be helpful, isn't it? It's not helpful for your mental health, and it's not helpful for getting results. So the point is, what you're focusing on will always give you that energy. So which energy did you prefer to have? Do you prefer to have a negative energy or a positive energy? I know, rhetorical question, right? And of course, this applies also to relationships. You might have a difficulty talking to one of the people in your family, or your girlfriend or boyfriend, your children, somebody at work, and you might think, well, if I go any further with this, they're going to really hurt me. Look at what happened to me in the past. I've been hurt like this, I've been hurt like that. And then, that's going to happen again. I know it's going to be so difficult because, every time I get a job in such and such a place, I get this problem, I get that problem, etc. So it really is, life is what we make of it. So let's make sure that we are focusing on what is going to bring us good vibration and good energy and aura and attract the good things to us, or at least we're going to feel great even when many things are not going too well as we wished. I found it really interesting that when we are keeping positive despite a lot of problems, whether it's health or wealth or whatever, the other people will respond to that. So in the scenario when we are with other people, if we are making this conscious decision that we're going to smile to people, be positive and say things that are good, we can get a very favorable response. And when we are talking in a positive way, encouraging others to do so, they're more likely to respond in the same way. While if we are snapping to people, we are very short and angry and you talk all about the bad stuff, of course people will, leave you alone and say, well, he's not having a good day, I'm just gonna go. So what we need to do is a little bit of creativity, because when we change our mood, we contribute to a day that is fulfilling our own expectations. So we can expect to be happy or calm, we can expect to be sad or angry, and so we can use this filtering process and the creating process. Think about the huge difference that this will make in your day if you are suffering from anxiety and depression, because these are both loop-based types of thinking where you're in a pattern of thinking everything's gonna get worse, or I'm so terrible, I'm not good enough, nobody likes me, I'm not smart or lovable, things are never gonna get good or better, everything is doomed to fail. And when you realize what is going on in your mind, you start thinking, wait, why am I talking like that? And of course what you think is going to realize, because your mind will do everything to prove that you are correct all the time. I was talking to a client recently and I was told, the people in my family have been very controlling of me, they've been telling me what to do. Then after we had a session and all the reflection, etc., my client told me, actually, it wasn't them trying to control me, it was me. I was just asking so many questions and asking for the approval for everything because I didn't feel confident about myself. And so they were just telling me what they thought. They were not trying to control me, they didn't have a bad intention. But now I am able to talk about what I feel and what I want. And so they just accept it and they never try to control me. Isn't it amazing how our perception can change when we realize we are in charge of what we think, what we say, and on our moods? If you go and look at the statistics from medical studies, you will also know that it's something called the placebo effect, which means that when you do a double-blind, peer-reviewed study, etc., the golden standard of medicine, psychiatry as well, is to see that there are groups of people that are having a medicine and some people that They don't know if they're having a medicine, and you see the reaction. And when people think they're having a medicine, even if it's just a pill full of sugar, they will many times have the same effect as those who actually had the proper medicine, because they were convinced that it would work. Then it does work. So think about the huge effect of thinking positive when you have a condition, a disease, whether it is emotional or physical. I'm not saying to think, I don't have it, but if you start thinking, I heal very quickly, I have a very powerful immune system, I can do this, or I can easily, catch up again if I get weaker, etc., etc. So always remember, when you talk to yourself, your mind wants to just follow what you're saying, because the mind doesn't have a sense of humor or anything. It will just believe everything you say. So be very careful how you talk to yourself, how you tell yourself, I can't possibly do this, I can't stand this, and I can't stand that. It's important to give yourself a benefit of doubt. Talk to yourself as if you were your best friend and you're wishing this best friend a wonderful day. Encourage, uplift yourself, and if you do that, then you're more likely to encourage and uplift the others. And think how wonderful it would be if everywhere we went, we were treated others with the same courtesy and kindness that we expect to see. So be very, very careful. Check those thoughts, especially if they're negative, and always say to yourself, right, I'm going to coach myself. What can I do about this problem? Is there actually a problem? Because sometimes, challenges are just invitations to grow. So ask yourself, what am I going to learn from this? Is this something that's going to be useful to know in the rest of the day? Or even in the rest of my life? So look at things and look at all the positive aspects that they can bring. And if I don't have one, say, okay, this was not a very good time or a good day for me, but tomorrow is going to be better. Tomorrow I'm going to make sure that I take time to nourish myself, to help myself, to improve in this particular place. Maybe today, that's it. It wasn't the best day, but tomorrow is going to be great. And so give yourself this chance to change. We are not stuck to be forever in a very dangerous situation or in a very sad situation. So just give yourself the gift of gratitude for everything that is around you. It's going to make you feel amazing. It's going to make people love being around you, because it will help them to see the wonderful things that happen in our life. And maybe with that I can close the episode and say thank you very much for listening to me today. And if you found this episode useful, please click and share it with some of your best friends. Maybe they need to listen to something a little bit more positive. And we need to be reminded that we have a power of choosing what we think and how we react to situations. What happens to us is not as important as what we do about it. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and I hope you can write a good review for me and share this episode so more people can know how to hack their mind a little bit to create the life that they want. Thank you so much. Until the next time, take care. Bye-bye. You have listened to Create with Franz Sidney.